Good morning, dear community members, elected officials, and respected colleagues. The Coalition for Safe San Francisco is honored to have you with us today to celebrate a day that San Francisco should be proud of, a day that we should all be proud of, the day that the San Francisco Civil Rights Ordinance is officially signed into law. My name is Samar Harara, and I've been the Coalition coordinator for the past 2 years and have seen firsthand the community's efforts and inspiring bravery to bring us here today. I've also seen the immense support of elected officials and allies in the community. Please help me in welcoming a few of these people to share their perspective with us today. Please help me in welcoming Supervisor Jane Kim, the sponsor of the ordinance.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, I can't believe we're finally here. It's been a really long journey. For our office, I know that we came on board in August when we started working with the Save San Francisco Coalition. But for the coalition members themselves, this has been an even longer journey, starting in 2001, but really the organizing work that's happened over the last couple of years, working, of course, with our Police Commission, our Human Rights Commission, and then organizing amongst community residents and many of the community leaders that you see here today. We are really taking a historic step here in the city of San Francisco. We are now the second city to put into ordinance that racial profiling is something that we don't do for the sake of national security. This is already something that our police chief, our elected and community leaders have said that we have stood against, but we have now put this into ordinance. It's been a really long passage, and I don't want to gloss over it. I think it was a really challenging and difficult process for all of us. Our community leaders, our office, the mayor's office, and many of our elected officials. I know that we've had many difficult conversations. I know the chief and I have engaged a lot on what it means to both keep our communities safe, but also how to create trust. And I'm really proud to be standing here today. I think it took the effort of so many people. I do want to recognize two folks that really helped us push us along at the end. We have Fouad Swiss here from Department of Public Works, and Fouad Atoyat, who is also standing behind us, one of our small business leaders here in San Francisco, that really helped us get to the point that we could compromise around a solution that would work for everyone here. I want to recognize our police commissioners who are in the audience here today, and our human rights commissioner as well, who really helped advise us along in this process. And of course, my elected leaders, co-sponsors, President David Hsu and Supervisor Christina Alagi. I know we have a few other folks that want to speak before the actual signing, so I don't want to be long, but thank you so much for holding with us every step of the way to make sure that this day was possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Jane Kim. Our next speaker is a coalition member and also a community member that's active in the Yemeni community. Please welcome Mukhtar Al-Khansali.
Good morning, respected officials, honored guests, friends, and families. I would first like to greet you with the Muslim greeting of peace, love, and justice. Assalamu Alikum. I'm a proud member of the Coalition for Safe San Francisco, and I've been working with the Coalition for the last 2 years to address racial and religious profiling, discrimination of Arab, Middle Eastern, Muslim, and Southeast Asian community members here in San Francisco. My family, members of my community, my friends, fellow classmates have all had to deal with this type of discrimination after September 11th. And it all boiled down to the point where a city official made discriminatory comments about our community. And these comments were very frightening to community members because it showed and portrayed my community as a very scary community. And we felt that we were second-class citizens, that we had lost some of our dignity, our civil and human rights. It has not been an easy road for the members of this coalition to get together. Before this work, I had never ever set foot in City Hall 2 years ago. I had never had the opportunity to work with such a broad-based group of grassroots community organizations, from different points of the political spectrum, Asian American communities, Latino communities, African American communities, and different communities here in San Francisco. And for me, it's been a wonderful and great and eye-opening experience. As a member of the community, I am thankful and proud for the nearly 80 organizations that have come in support of this. I am thankful and proud that the San Francisco community has come together to speak for civil rights, human rights. I want to thank the supervisors that helped us in the struggle, the mayor for his support, and all the community members who are going to be working in the future to implement this amazing piece of legislation. It doesn't matter how many pat-downs, wire checks, GPS tracking devices. These things are not going to make us safe. What's going to make us safe is that community members are coming together like they are today and working together side by side, because at the end of the day, we all are here, we all are equal. And I'm very proud and thankful that I've been a part of this community. Today, my mother is here, and it's also her first time to be in City Hall. So as we can see, this whole process has been a great and wonderful experience for me and my community members, and I look forward to the futures to come. At a point, I actually thought that this was not going to get passed, and it would take decades later before some Supreme Court decision finally apologizes and passes something similar to this. But I'm so happy and thankful that today I'm proud to be a San Franciscan. I'm proud to live in this city, and I'm proud that my community members are here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mukhtar. Our next speaker is Hyun Ju, the Executive Director of the Asian Law Caucus.
Good morning. My name is Ganyu Row, Executive Director of the Asian Law Caucus, and we were also a proud member of the Coalition for a Safe San Francisco. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors, and in particular Supervisor Kim, for your leadership in setting the standard that San Francisco stands against racial profiling and in support of transparency and local oversight and control of our own communities. And of course, our sincere thanks to Mayor Lee for your support of the Safe San Francisco Civil Rights Ordinance. In the coming months and years, partners in the coalition will be working to ensure that the standards enshrined in the ordinance are implemented in a way that protects our communities and our shared values. In particular, we will be addressing the impact of the ordinance on the existing agreement between the SFPD and the FBI. We plan to meet with and discuss with various stakeholders how best to implement the ordinance. And lastly, we plan to work to bring the community and leaders together, as we have been, to ensure that the ordinance robustly fights racial profiling and advances transparency and oversight. Many of the people that we're going to be reaching out to are in the room today, so be prepared for our calls. And we look forward to celebrating with you today and working with you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Hyun Ju. And our next speaker is Fuad Atiyah, who's the president of the Arab Cultural and Community Center.
Good morning. My name is Fuad Atiyah. I'm the president of the Arab Cultural and Community Center, a member of the Coalition for Safe San Francisco. The center has been working with the Coalition for Safe San Francisco for the last 2 years to address very important issues of profiling and transparency in San Francisco. Many of the organizations and individuals that are working with the coalition are not new to these issues. Our community have faced many difficult issues regarding our place in the city for many decades. Each of us has tried to work to bring understanding, knowledge, and representation of our community. The center is proud to work with the communities, old and new, on community issues, old and new, and to bring about positive change through the San Francisco Civil Rights Ordinance. Because of this unanimous Board of Supervisors support of this ordinance, and because of the mayor's support of this ordinance, it's clear that the city of San Francisco stands with our community in working against racial and religious profiling and transparency. And again, I would like to thank the mayor, the Board of Supervisors, especially Supervisor Jane Kim, who introduced the ordinance, and the Chief Police, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Fuad. And I just wanted to say we really appreciate you coming out today, especially in light of the tragic fire that impacted, I know, a few of the buildings that you manage. So our next speaker is Mayor Edwin Lee. So hand it off. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. It's a very, very happy day for for a lot of people, for our city. You know, I think it's a truth to say that every city in this side of the world, I think, are challenged with this very basic conflict these days, and that's that conflict that we see and read about almost every week between our civil liberties and public safety. And it's different in every city as how it's been handled. And we've seen examples of we fear that would never happen here. And then we have examples of what could happen. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors, and particularly Supervisor Kim, for her persistence in presenting this and moving this forward as part of the legislative process. I want to thank our Chief of Police and the Police Commission, because they've also moved this conversation forward. But most importantly, I want to thank the members of our community, because it is they that feel the sting, or they feel the level of safety and care the city might have with them and for them. And it's in the spirit that we wanted to make sure that we would not end up in a days of apology. That should be long gone. We shouldn't be apologizing for things that we do. We ought to be moving every community in our city forward with their civil liberties and enjoying the basic freedoms that this country has offered, as to why everybody has found a way to come to America and found a way especially to come to San Francisco. I want to especially thank Fuad Swice, because in moments where we did have some doubt as to what our relationships should be and what we should signal as a basic foundation, he brought in my good friend Fuad Atiyeh, who I've known for many years since my very beginnings at the Human Rights Commission servicing this city, and how we worked together with the Arab Grocers Association to really deal with other challenges that we had in the city. And it's built upon always the trust that our interfaith community is always helping us provide with communities of both faith and immigrant communities. It is something that I think our police commission is extremely proud of, is relationships that we have built over many years, that we never want to say we are sorry for something that we could always have prevented. And so it is with this legislation that I'm proudly today signing that signals an effort here to make that fine balance, that we want people to enjoy their civil liberties and to fulfill the promises for you and your families and for generations to come, as well as feel that their safety is also the priority of our whole city family. Safe and enjoying your civil liberties, where else can you find that happening? And of course, I want to signal my appreciation to the ongoing work of the Asian Law Caucus. Summer, you've been wonderful in your advocacy, and all of the staff there. I know you're proud of your work here and proud of the basis upon which we do this. And for me, it is always about putting the community first. And ultimately, I believe that this is the best legislation, and one that balances the right tone for our city, but also that protects all these very basic promises that we have made for generations. So it is my pleasure and my enthusiasm to sign this legislation with your witnessing. So let's do that. Come on up. Get closer. There we go. Are we ready? Okay. There, it's done. you, everybody.